In a universe filled with devastating wars, a man goes from planet to planet to try and stop wars before they happen. Why? Let's read the Godmakers and find out. Welcome back to BG's Books. I'm Mr. BG, and today I will be reviewing The Godmakers by Frank Herbert. So, if you've been following me for a while by now, you would know that Frank Herbert is one of my favorite authors. Of course, Frank Herbert is most famous for his novel Dune, which is not only my favorite book series of all time, but is just my fourth favorite book overall and my favorite science fiction book, because Dune is just incredible. But Frank Herbert has not written just Dune. He's also known for other things besides Dune, such as The Godmakers. And basically, so The Godmakers was published in 1972, so after Dune and Dune Messiah. And it basically follows a guy named Lewis Orne as he tries to mitigate potential war scenarios on different planets while slowly discovering that he has godlike powers. So the book sounds very interesting and stuff, but unfortunately, I wasn't that into it. I'm not going to discuss why just yet. That's what the actual, my thoughts segment is for. But this book is certainly no Dune. I'm just going to say that. It's no Dune. But anyway, without further ado, to fully explain what The Godmakers is truly about, let's get right on in to the summary. So, The Godmakers follows Lewis Orne, an agent with the military, who is assigned by this little organization called the IA, and basically they kind of go through planets and try to end wars before they happen. So, Lewis is selected to do this, and so he goes to a planet called Hamel, where he kind of, has to, stop wars and stuff. And then, meanwhile, on this planet called Amel, these other people are trying to make a god, which is something they've done many times before, and they think Lewis may be the guy to do it. So anyway, what happens is that Lewis goes through a bunch of planets, stopping all these wars, but he is very injured and is in the hospital for a while. He, almost dies. It's very serious. But while he's in the hospital, his psychic powers awaken. And long story short, they tell him that he's becoming a godlike being. And so after he gets out of the hospital, he does quite a few trials and tests and whatnot. And at the end, he becomes a god. And that is basically the story of The Godmakers. So your first thought when you just heard the summary I just gave you is probably, what on earth just happened? And I have to say, I'm fully with you. I don't know what happened. I read the entire book, and this book is just not it. I'm sorry to say. Frank Herbert, the book is marketed as his most greatest novel since the Dune books or whatever, but honestly, I just don't see it. Because it just really doesn't have a lot going for it. It's just over 200 pages, so it doesn't really have a lot of time to really set up anything interesting. And another part about it is that most books, if you look at your favorite book, it probably has one or two scenes that you don't forget about ever. It's Dune, for example. It has the Fremen attack against the Harkonnens. Carrie has the prom scene plus the destruction of Chamberlain. And then The Exorcist has the Exorcist going after Pazuzu. It's every book kind of has that one scene or couple of scenes that you remember after you stop reading it because it's just so incredible. And The Godmakers just doesn't really have anything like that. It doesn't really have anything memorable in it. It's basically just a guy going from planet to planet, stopping warlike things, and then he gets injured, and then all of a sudden he has god powers, and then he just becomes a god. So yeah, it's really not that interesting. It's not that entertaining either, unfortunately, because Dune, as long as Dune is, it kept my interest basically the entire way through. I love Dune so much. And then The Godmakers, this book was just kind of boring, which is unfortunately very sad because I love sci-fi and Frank Herbert's books. So the fact that this was written by my second favorite author and it was supposed to be his greatest book since Dune, I was left very disappointed with the final result. I don't think it's a terrible book by any means. Some of you may enjoy it more than I did, but I certainly think it was a letdown considering how much I love Frank Herbert's writing and how much I love his Dune books. So The Godmakers was disappointing to say the least. But I guess I'm just rambling. Anyway, The Godmakers, it's just meh. There's nothing really going for it. And this does not discourage me from reading Frank Herbert. Absolutely not. There are still so many more Frank Herbert books out there that I want to check out and review. But The Godmakers is just, it's just not it. It is not Dune. And I'd say that you could even skip this one if you do so please. But anyway, so yeah, The Godmakers, it's not that interesting. I'm sorry, I wish I could be more positive about it, but The Godmakers is just not that good. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my review for The Godmakers by Frank Herbert. Again, I'm sorry that it wasn't more positive. I just really tried to find things that I liked about the book, but it just didn't really have anything that I remembered. The only thing I think is really worth noting is that it's just short. Like, that's it. It's just short. And then nothing is memorable about it, which is just really sad. But anyway, yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you have not already. Anyway, yeah, this has been BG's Books. I've been Mr. BG, and I will see you guys in the next video.